Welcome back to Paranormal Patio. If you're just stumbling across this episode, make sure you find all of our other episodes on all of your favorite podcasting platforms, except for Apple. It's a personal decision. You can also find information from all of our past guests, as well as all of our episodes, at paranormalpatio.com. And of course, you can find us on social media, on Twitter and Facebook for Paranormal Patio, and we will have updates and articles and all kinds of good stuff, as well as notifications as to when you can listen to the newest episode.
You're listening to the Paranormal Patio Podcast. Pull up a chair.
Welcome back to Paranormal Patio. As always, I am Jason, and one of my favorite people in the entire world is with me tonight out here in the Paranormal Patio. Adam Taula, it has been too long since you've been on the show. How in the world are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you? How long has it been?
Oh, it was like
months? 5 months?
Ooh, it was September or October?
Oh, it was October because it was during your special event that you were doing.
Well, that's when it aired, but I don't remember when we actually recorded it.
Oh, well, people don't need to know that it didn't happen as it was happening. I mean, isn't this a live show?
If people only knew the backlog of episodes I'm sitting on at this very moment.
Oh, yeah, my iPhone doesn't even let me take pictures anymore because I have so many videos I need to get onto YouTube. So I just kind of use it for a flashlight right now. That's mainly all that I use my phone for.
Well, at any rate, it's been a while. And a lot has happened. But like with me, with you, with the world, I think we're finally starting to heal a little bit.
I hope so.
The last time you were on, it was still kind of dire.
It was. It's definitely a different time and a place now. I can feel it.
The change is coming.
I hope so. I hope it's some good change.
So you'd mentioned your YouTube channel. I know you've had a bit of an adventure with your YouTube channel since we spoke last. You want to get into that? Explain to maybe my listeners the headache that you've been dealing with?
Oh, you mean when I deleted my whole YouTube channel?
Yeah, that thing.
Oh, no big deal. You ever have one of those nights where you're just not sleeping, and so you think you'll do something, adventurous, like delete videos off your YouTube channel? Well, I just kind of selected all the videos on accident, and then they all disappeared forever. So I think I lost about 35 videos, which for a channel that's only 6 months old, that was a lot of videos for me. So I've had to kind of start over from scratch again about a month ago.
Yep.
So, but it's been good. People have been really nice and really cool about it. So I appreciate that.
I guess whenever we had you on the show last, I didn't think about it. Like, your channel was really, really, really new. Like, when we started.
Yeah. I think I maybe had like 80 followers or subscribers. And it was, my uncle, my aunt, my cat.
Your cat.
A random guy on the street holding a sign for Little Caesars. Yeah, it was just whoever.
I love it. Another thing that we have to address is because this hasn't been officially addressed yet. So whenever I contacted you to be on the show the first time, I was under the impression the person on Twitter I was talking to was Adam Taula. And then, a month ago, the beans were spilled, and we're putting her on blast right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Put her on blast. Don't put me on blast. I didn't know either. It was kind of a discovery we made together.
Freaking Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy, you guys. Wendy is my dear friend who's helped me with doing TikTok. Is TikTok a thing still? I didn't know it was.
I've never done it. I have no idea.
I don't know what a TikTok is, but apparently I have like 5,000 followers on there. She's having a real good time on that. We'll have her stay on that end of things, and I'll take over Twitter one of these days as soon as I figure out my login. But I swear, it gets to me eventually. I'm sure it does, you know?
Yeah, you know, it was funny whenever you told me that, because it made things make a little bit more sense, because when we finally connected for the interview, you were blissfully unaware of anything that we were going to do.
I was. And so that's probably why I acted the way I did. But as you can see, I still act that way, full knowing what's going to happen today. So maybe that's just me.
It's all
and I'm
good.
a hot mess.
You know, it really worked out because we've really become pretty good friends. At least I think we have.
I think so. I think it's been awesome getting to know you. And people who may not know this, I don't know if this is something I can say, but thanks for all the candy bars you mailed me afterwards.
We can say that, but we can't say any more.
I'm just saying.
They mustn't know of the source.
Okay. Well, we won't say anything. Let's just skip that. Don't want you to go to, you know, get in trouble.
No, I won't. I just try to keep, you know, everything with my personal life a little bit personal. In the age of everybody knowing everything, I like to think that I am sort of one of those, like, shadow entities whenever I'm online, right?
That's not a bad idea. I should probably do that more often.
Yeah, but so much of your content is focused on travel. For you to be able to do any type of, you know, planning for live events and things, like in your live streams and stuff, that you kind of have to tell people what you're doing. So
yeah, it usually helps too if I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to get on that and make sure I do for the future ones as well. It is a good thing to do. That's why I have a P.O. box, actually. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, Wendy did that. So, Wendy, way to go. If you're hearing this, you did one good thing.
She just did that so she could get your mail before you.
Yeah, like especially if there's like candy or anything. Oh, yeah, she's all on that.
I love it.
Damn you, Wendy.
Damn you,
You're
Wendy.
Listening, and she will be.
Let's talk a little bit about your channel. Tell us some of the things that you've done lately since you deleted your entire YouTube.
Well, I quickly got in my car and I started driving through the desert. True story. And I said, I'm going to just see everything I can nearby and record it because I need some content. And
yeah, you've been banging them out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just trying to get on top of things and get caught up. And I've been going to Las Vegas. I've gone a few times since we've spoken. There's just a lot of really cool haunted spots out there and a lot of neat ghost towns and haunted little towns along the way from where I live. So I kind of have been doing that little loop around and back the past few months. And so it's been really fun. It's been nice getting out of the house finally and seeing a little bit of the country.
I just went on a little trip myself, but I can't talk about it on the air yet.
I know. It sounds real good, though. This sounds very exciting. I can't wait.
It was very exciting and very secretive.
I've got a few of those up my sleeve, too. So, Hey, you ain't the only one with the secret.
Nice. One thing, like, because people probably don't realize, like, I know we've made a couple of, you know, like, little statements about where we started the paranormal pandemic pound loss deal,
Yes.
which we won't get into because I just went on a road trip and I undid a little bit of my work. But that's beside the point. But we've been, like, pretty well in constant communication since the fall. We've learned a lot about, like, things that have happened, like, you know, in our past, like weird stuff. And one of the things that fascinated me, and I think maybe it'd be cool if you could retell the story on air, was the giant flying jellyfish over Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't even remember what year this was, but I remember I was driving my mother to the casino she was staying at, which was Sam's Town. And Sam's Town's off the strip. It's, you know, off Boulder Highway. So I was going up and around 215, and this was right in the middle of the day. And I remember my mom just saying, "Look, what is that up there in the sky?" And I'm like, calm down, lady, I'm driving. But then I went and looked, and that's what it was. It looked like a giant jellyfish that was just flying in the sky up above the city of Las Vegas, right in the middle of the day. There were people, I saw people stopped that were also standing outside videotaping it. So I know that it was something weird, and it was crazy because you could see through it, but it was almost like it was like static electricity was coming off of it. It wasn't sparkling. It was like electricity. So it very much looked like a real jellyfish that you would see in the ocean. But this thing had to have been the size of a hot air balloon or bigger than that.
It's so bizarre.
But then I thought I saw something on TV the other day where someone actually that was there caught it on camera.
Well, I sent you a video.
Yeah, that's the same thing. There you go. I wasn't making it up. If anyone doesn't believe me.
I believed you the entire time. Because I am a serial believer. Like,
I'm actually the biggest skeptic ever for someone who does this stuff. I'm the first one to kind of roll my eyes. But there's definitely stuff out there that's real.
The thing that really resonated with me is I've gotten to know the guys from the Pennyroyal podcast really well also since I had them on the show. And there is a little story from Pennyroyal about a giant stingray that a family saw fly over their car, like when they got home from like wherever they were getting home from. Mm-hmm. And that was like what triggered the jellyfish thing for me. And then we were talking about it in the Liminal Lodge, which is their Patreon. And I was like, oh yeah, that jellyfish thing. And I looked it up and I posted the video and told like what I remembered of your story. And then I shared the video with you too. And you're like, yep, that's what I saw.
Yep. That was definitely, that had to have been the same thing. But it even looked well, of course things look crazier in person, but it's just one of those things you had to be there to see it.
Yeah, so I wish I would.
I'm kind of glad I got to see that with my mom because she never would have believed me had I told her. So, pretty neat.
You might say I'm jelly.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness. You know what? I think you need to quit this podcast and switch to a comedy one. I'll help you. Do you need a sidekick?
Yeah.
Good. I don't get coffee, but I'll make some jokes. How's that?
If you can make jokes and drinks, we'll be okay.
Okay, well,
one of those flaming dumpster fires that you made for your video. What was that? Like January?
Yeah. That's actually one of the videos I was able to salvage and put back up. But I was lighting different drinks on fire because of the dumpster fire that we had last year, and they were all like funny drinks that were named for the year. And literally not one of them worked on my video.
No, it was awesome.
I just put the flames in like post-production, but we're talking like, Instagram filter, cartoon flames, nothing, like nobody sober would believe anything I was doing. It was just a hot mess. So it was perfect for 2020. So we left it up.
And you were actually sick then, right?
I was.
Wasn't that when you ended up having fucking COVID?
I was straight in the middle of having COVID when I recorded that video, which is weird because I look surprisingly not so bad in that one. But I was right. I'd had it at least a good 5 days at that point, and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then it got, just within a few days, I was completely incapacitated for weeks.
Yeah, I remember. Can you, just shed a little light on that? I know people, at this point, everybody knows somebody who's had it or they've had it themselves, but what was it like for you?
Well, my husband says I'm a little bit dramatic about stuff. I don't know if that's a thing or if that's true. I thought I was going to die, if I'm being honest with you. It was crazy because you had all those aches and pains and flu symptoms, and then all of a sudden one day it just hits you and you can't do anything. So we just bought this 2-story house, and I had to crawl on my hands and knees just to get to the first landing, and then I would sit there for 10 minutes And I'm not kidding. Like, that's how much pain I was in, and I couldn't even stand. And I think, yeah, my husband and I both were just trying to not die. Like, we were just trying to take care of one another, and we were just so sick for a good 10 days. And right as we were going to the hospital for me, because I lost like 30 pounds, I wasn't drinking anything. I couldn't keep any fluids down. So it got really scary for a minute. And then just one day it disappeared. And I lost the sense of smell and taste, and then everything just was gone one day. Since then, I'm a singer. You can hear me right now. I'm out of breath just talking to you. I still have a lot of issues with my breathing and my lungs, and a lot of hopefully not permanent things, but things, where I just can't run at the gym those 6 miles like I used to, or maybe I haven't been to a gym, but no one needs to know that on your show. Okay. So let's just say if I wanted to, I couldn't, because I'm still feeling it. And this has been almost 3 months?
Yeah.
So it's kind of rough, and it just really depends on the person. So it's just a really weird thing, but it's definitely real. I'm here to tell you that it's the truth.
If I could just make everybody in my town believe that one statement, it would do wonders.
In fact, I'm getting my vaccine next week, finally, so I'm excited. Well, I mean, I'm not excited. Like, who's excited to go get a vaccine? But I'm excited to, not get it again, hopefully. That'd be great. So
somehow, in your recovery, you still managed to land a show, a singing part, and you did a killer job. I bet it was exhausting.
Yes, it was very exhausting, because I had to walk from, stage left to stage right while singing Bryan Adams. And then there was a lift, like 3 steps I had to walk up and down. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it actually was. It took it out of me for the month that I was doing it. Because I was just still recovering from this, and but it was a lot of fun. It was so fun to get on the stage and sing again after this whole year of being out of work, because I'm an entertainer, so I lost all of my gigs, all of my shows. So it was kind of nice to just get back on the stage again. Like I said, you did a killer job, dude. I saw a video of you actually singing your song, and I loved it. Thank you. It was probably on the night I was having a night, but always have a night. Yeah, well, from my experience with you, you have a lot of nights, man. I do. What you talking about? I think your husband might be right. I think maybe you're just a little bit dramatic about things. I was a drama major in college originally, so it's possible. There's no sense in telling a story and just being boring about it. You can add a little flair here and there. Listen, when I tell you something, it's always true. But if I want to add a little zazz here and there, then that's, whatever. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah. But no, everything I tell my viewers and my listeners is true. I don't need to make up the stuff that I tell people, because I have tons of people who are with me when I've experienced some of these stories that I've shared. And I'm definitely like a haunted person, so I don't know why. Make it stop. Let's change gears and get back into paranormal. It is the Paranormal Patio. I mean, it is. All of your accomplishments aside, with singing and surviving COVID and making alcoholic beverages for the fine folks on YouTube. I have such a hard life. So getting drunk and doing shows, no big deal. No big deal. You have been, like I said earlier, you've been really banging out videos. Let's talk about some of the cool stuff that you've seen since the last time we were in the patio together. Where should we start? Should we start at Skinwalker Ranch? Yeah, that is a good story. Let's do that. So I used to go out there all the time with my group, and 8 years ago I said I would never go back again. I'm not sure if I talked about saying I would never go back again on your last show, but I told everyone that. Well, I went back again. Hooray. It happened. It was an accident. My friend had to go pick up something in a town that was up above. She wanted someone to drive with her, and, I don't want her driving by herself. It was Wendy. Good old Wendy.
It was Wendy.
Damn you, Wendy, getting me taken by Skinwalkers or whatever. So we drive to Skinwalker Ranch. I did a live for my, Facebook and TikTok or whatever to just show people the area and where you can, go to find the front gates. You can't go in, of course. I was telling her a story about when I was a kid. I used to have a scar on the side of my stomach, in pretty close to the same spot where this thing happened. And this scar that I had was in the shape of a triangle and an eye. And I had it all throughout my childhood, and it disappeared one day when I was like 18, out of nowhere. I was telling her about this while we were driving around. And I've always said that the ranch kind of listens to your conversations when you're out there, and it'll make things manifest. This video's on my YouTube channel if anyone's interested, but I got home and I saw 3 spots of blood on my side that were in the shape of a triangle, and so I thought, well, shit, where did I cut myself? And my jacket I was wearing had blood all over it, and I lift my shirt up, and there's nothing there, like I'm not scratched, but there's 3 moles in the exact same spot as the blood spots. They look like they've been there forever, but they haven't, I don't think. And so as that's happening, people, like I'm hearing people knocking on my windows and my doors at the same time, like the front office window, the back of the house, and the front door all at once. And so I know that I've brought something back from the ranch because I've done it before. And so I did my cleansing that I usually do, which is light a candle. I open up doors and ask stuff to leave. Yeah, since that visit a month or so ago, my house has been getting a lot of paranormal activity, more so than normal, which I've already been having. So I think I may have to go back again. Yeah, because that'll solve everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. One thing that you kind of left out of that story, since I've heard this before, was there was like a car accident or something, right? Like on your way out?
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe it wasn't. Because you were like delayed, right?
We were. So I just know, gosh, now that night is such a blur, but I know that when we came home, we ended up going home the wrong way and not knowing it, which is not something I've ever done. Because, Utah's can be, the highways can be complicated, but I know my way around, and so does my friend. But all I know is we were on one highway 1 minute, and then the next we were on a completely different side of the mountain range, like 30 miles off course.
It's so bizarre.
And we both have no explanation. I'm one of those, like, backseat drivers, because I'm not, dramatic or anything.
No.
But it was, the weather was kind of crazy. It had just snowed and stuff, so I like to just be alert. And so was she, and there was a ton of fog. But it would just come in huge patches and just disappear instantly. But even still, like, we know our way around, so I don't know how this happened. But then when we got there, down this highway, the traffic stopped, and we find that, like, just in front of us, just barely, within minutes, a truck, hit a car head on and exploded and killed everyone. So it was like very Final Destination.
Yeah.
It was a very weird night. That whole night was weird.
It was weird for me, too, because I was interviewing someone else for the show. I don't remember which guest it was. But, like, I was talking to somebody while all of that was going down, because I remember you had sent me a video. Well, it ended up being the same video, I think, that you released, like, showing the gate to the ranch and everything. And then you came up in conversation, like, during that interview, and I messaged you. I'm like, man, I don't know what it is that you're doing, but, like, you keep coming up. Like, you keep being relevant to what I'm talking about. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do.
And I was like, whatever you're doing, keep it up because it's making my life interesting. And then, like, you were freaking out. Like, you messaged me, like, the video with, like, the noises and stuff in your house, and you were telling me about the knocking. And, oh, man, I was like, what in the world? What in the world are you doing?
Yeah.
It was a weird night.
It was a really weird night. And then after that, it would be, my husband never wakes up. He would hear someone banging on our front door, and he would come running down. And I'd be sitting downstairs in the living room. Of course, there's nothing happening, but my cats are freaking out. And then he goes to bed, and then I start hearing people pounding on the door, and there's no one there. And that kind of stuff is what's been happening since I went out there. That was not happening before. So it's almost like it always wants you to just come back. And damn if it doesn't work. It took 8 years, but I did go back. I mean, and I can honestly say I've never gone there and not had something weird happen. There's always been something that's happened. I don't know what it is about that place, but it's definitely all around the state because I had a very similar thing happen just a few days ago.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell me? Were you saving it for this?
Well, sure. And it's on my YouTube video that I just posted a minute ago.
In my defense, you posted that while we were talking, so I am off the hook.
You haven't seen it. Well, it's not so much something that happened to me as it is something... Well, I've told you before about my dreams that I'll have about places.
Yeah.
Such as Skinwalker Ranch. If I'm going to go out to Skinwalker Ranch, no matter if I know about it or not, I always have the same kind of nightmare about this creature that I see in the moonlight. And whenever I dream about the moon, that's always a bad omen. And so this story starts 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I had this nightmare. And in the nightmare, I was driving down a dirt road. And I know I was in southern Utah, close to like Cedar City, but I didn't know where. And in the dream, I need to go to the gas station because I need to find a hotel because it's getting dark and I just know that I shouldn't be out and about for some reason. So I asked the guy at this gas station and he says, you need to be in your room by nightfall. People don't stay outside when the sun goes down here. And so in my dream, I actually just agreed with him and it was like, oh yeah, of course. Let me go get that hotel room and get inside. So I go to this hotel. It's a hot mess. So I'm like, no thanks. So I leave the hotel like I would do in real life. And I'm driving down this dirt road trying to somehow find a better hotel or like a McDonald's because I was hungry. I remember that. I'm always hungry when I'm dreaming. And then I see this mountain and there's clouds forming above it. So when I turned the corner on this windy dirt road, I see the mountain in front of me, but it has a huge gouge out of the middle of it, and it's shaped like a V. And it looks like this black cloud that I saw was actually, I couldn't tell what it was, but I knew it was something supernatural. It was like a black mist, and it was forming above this opening of this gouge of this mountain. And the gouge went straight through to a valley, but above it this black cloud was forming, and so it formed a perfect triangle. Oh my God, a triangle. Just like Skinwalker Ranch. I'm just putting that together.
I got a weird triangle thing to tell you later.
Oh, great. So, and then in the dream, the moon is then coming up in the background right into the middle of this triangle. And all I can think of, and I tried to animate this in my video, is it looked like a reptile with an eye, like a yellow eye just looking at me. And I knew that I had to get out of there. And that's when I see a black hole open up and this tall sort of creature with horns, the same one that I see when I'm going to Skinwalker Ranch, comes up out of the ground. And then I wake up. And that's the nightmare.
Wow.
So a year, and I still don't know where it is. So a year ago, we had an earthquake here, exactly a year ago. And it was a really big earthquake. It scared a lot of people. And It did a lot of damage. That next night, and I know it was the 19th of March because that was the spring equinox. That night I had the same dream that I was in this mountain with this hole that was cut out like a V, and the ground erupted and out came this figure, but this time it was made of fire, and it was like an elemental being. And it scared me so much that I had to paint it. I paint a lot of things I see in my dreams. And so, crazy story. Just last week, I decided to drive to Vegas for no reason. Or excuse me, it was this weekend. And I ended up driving right through Cedar City, Utah, to the town of Parawan. And I'm also there on the spring solstice, a year exactly from the day that I had the nightmare about it. And I found out that in this place, there is a place called the Parawan Gap, and it's an ancient fault line that was carved out by an ancient river, and it's shaped in the perfect shape of a V. And ancient Native Americans, 5,000 years ago, they can see petroglyphs all over the walls of this mountain on both sides. It's one mountain, but it was carved out over millions of years. So when I saw this thing that was in my nightmare that I'd had multiple times, I had a what the fuck moment. And I was Googling quickly trying to figure out what it was about this place. So apparently, thousands of years ago, the Hopi Indian tribe, they would use this, it's called the Gap. So they actually used this spot to measure the moon cycles. And that's all I would dream about was the moon and this space.
That's bizarre.
And it's definitely the same vibe as Skinwalker Ranch. So I went out there and everything just kind of connected. Oh, and the other thing, to bring up the earthquake that hit us in Salt Lake was the same fault line that made that rock formation.
Wow.
So it was all connected. But it was just like super, I mean, maybe it means nothing or maybe it means everything. But that's what just happened this week.
You know what's really, really weird? Oh, man. I got chills. Okay.
Ooh.
So, again, I mentioned earlier I had the little road trip and I was filming some stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so not only is the triangle relevant to that, but also it was Sunday, so the day after the equinox that I left. I left here at it was like 8:30 in the morning or so, but apparently like 7:30 there was an earthquake, a small one, like right in the area that I was filming on Sunday.
Wow. That's crazy.
And now here we are talking about this. Oh. All this stuff is just the same.
It's nuts. And the other thing that I didn't mention to you about the Skinwalker Ranch with the blood and the triangle, I didn't mention it in the video on my YouTube either because I couldn't capture a picture. But there are signs that say no trespassing for the Skinwalker Ranch, but all the signs have a triangle with an eye in the middle of them.
Weird.
Which is a thing, but triangles again, all around this property. And I've just kind of, I've noticed that shape a lot. Even in the petroglyphs I've seen all over the state, there are lots of triangles in those too. And if you look at my video, the painting I drew, it's exactly like the shape of the big petroglyph, which is called the zipper petroglyph. And it's what was used to measure the moon cycles and the year, it was an astrological calendar. So why I had that dream, I don't know, but it definitely was the same place. So.
Wow.
Who knows? I'm telling you got to get to Utah. This place is batshit crazy.
Oh, dude. So, I'm just sitting here kind of, jaw on the floor, like at how similar our experience, like
I know.
this shared thing, like
because we were both gone the same time. I remember that.
You know what else is weird? Part of the trip that I was on the Trail of Tears, like the official Trail of Tears. So there's a Native American connection on my end too.
Yeah, I've always been affected by anything to do with like Native American history or just the lore of it or the locations. I'm always just drawn to it, whether I want to be or not. I mean, these are dreams that I've had multiple times, and they're all about the same kind of place. These places where these ancient people lived, thousands of years ago. And then to make things even cooler, I don't know if I told you, but right just a stone throw away from this spot in Parawan, which, by the way, the name Parawan means evil waters.
Oh.
So if that's not cool, or, the reason they say that is because they say the whole state used to be covered with a huge lake called Lake Bonneville, and it was an inland ocean. I think it was the size of Lake Superior, and it covered the area that I was in as well. It went for 30,000 miles was how big it was around.
Wow.
And they say that the water there used to kill people all the time, is what a lot of historians were talking about. The Native American people, they called that area evil waters because I guess someone very important drowned in that lake when it was kind of evaporating. And so I guess something crazy went down in this area, but there are dinosaur tracks is what I was getting at. So I also put that in the video. We found a bunch of dinosaur tracks in the mountainside from 65 million years ago. So this place is very historic, very ancient, and there's such a crazy energy there.
So you just connected two more things between our trips.
Oh, great.
One of them I'll tell you later, and the other one is like the connection to water. Will be relevant someday if and when this project takes off this video. But oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, and there's so many more stories about this place that I visited, and I don't know how I'd never researched it before being a paranormal investigator. It's just not a place I might have heard. I knew the name of the city because I passed through it, but I didn't know anything about it until I started Googling stuff for it, for this video, and when I went out there. So I just wonder, it just makes me wonder what is going on with that. But that's why I'm the paranormal Polynesian.
That's right.
Because I'm Polynesian and I guess I'm paranormal. I don't know.
Dude, that is crazy.
And I was in Parawan, which the city next to it's called Paraguna, which is also a native word for many lakes and many waters. So this place was covered with hundreds of lakes, apparently, back in those days. But I guess they were also very sacred and very evil, apparently, because that's what they named the area.
Yeah. So, I really, really need to get in contact with like someone who's really well versed in like Native American lore, because it keeps coming up, and like even, which is this kind of sub-tangent, like during Hair Raising Horror Week, where my listeners and I first spoke with you, I also interviewed a gentleman from the Hoosier Ghost Crew, and we kind of got onto like the connections between paranormal stuff and Native American like history. And one of the things we talked about were you're not so much where you are, but in the Midwest and even to the South a little bit is, there's all these earthworks, these mounds and serpent mounds and all this stuff. And,
oh yeah, I know about those.
Yeah, there's just so many weird connections between these earthworks and paranormal happenings and mental health and even Kentucky is known as the dark and bloody ground because of Native American history.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. And that's how it is here too, very much so. A lot of crazy things went down here with Spanish settlers and Mormon settlers, with the people that lived here. So I don't know what it means, and I don't know if it's because I'm of descent of native Polynesian people, which is the same thing. We had the same sort of issues on our islands with people coming and killing our people and taking the land.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why I'm so in tune with Native American things here or what it is, but I've always had these kind of dreams and then seen these places eventually. So it must mean something. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely, it makes sense, maybe this spiritual force or whatever you want to call it, it recognizes, your ancestry and your heritage. And because of that, it just reveals certain things to you that it wouldn't to me,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely neat. I mean, it's really neat and a cool experience that I will treasure, but I don't know what it means or what it's for. And sometimes I don't know for years with some of these things, but eventually I'll probably figure it out.
Yeah, I'm super creeped out now.
Oh no. It was thoroughly creepy. And you know what? When I was making the video, it took me 2 nights to make the video to tell the story because I always work in the middle of the night, at 3 a.m. because I don't sleep. And I had to stop the night before. And then I had to stop again last night because I was I'm creeping myself out telling the story again. But I'm not being very articulate right now. Definitely, if you want to check that out on my channel, you can see the whole story and the actual visuals. I think that helps a lot, so that you can see what I drew versus what I went to.
Yeah.
And it's and it all started because my memory on my phone shares your memories. And it's a year ago today, you drew a picture of a demon coming out of the ground. and I was like, wait a second, I'm here, and it's the spring equinox, and I'm in this place that is called Parawan. So,
wow. And just to clarify for everyone, the video is live now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Today is March 26th. By the time this episode airs, the video will have been out for several weeks probably. So you can go back and look. March 26th, this video was uploaded. Definitely go check it out. And check out all of his other videos too, because he makes some awesome content. I love it.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to go from here because that whole conversation resonated with me really hard, and I'm kind of in a daze right now.
That's really cool. That makes
I didn't know any of this. This is bizarre.
I didn't tell you any of this.
No.
I think it's because I just barely put it all together in my mind. I don't know if it's because I haven't talked to you or if it's just because I've only been home a few days, but it's been a little crazy. But yeah, that definitely happened this week.
It's so weird that we both such a similar thing, a similar journey, and these bullet points to both of our stories line up, and now we're talking about it. It's the universe knew we're going to be talking tonight, so let's just throw a monkey wrench in there and really fuck with these guys because it
maybe
works.
I'm just so
works.
desensitized from having this shit happen so often to me. That's why I didn't even tell you before this because it happens all the time. And I didn't even get into all the other places I've been ghost hunting, haunted mansions I've gone to or resorts that are abandoned. But this story with the Parawan Gap is the one that I needed to tell you.
Yeah, you did.
That. So,
well,
very cool.
We've got time, man. Let's talk about the mansion B&B that you stayed in.
Well, I didn't stay in it. I just went to visit.
Oh, okay. All right.
For the evening and went on a ghost tour. But that's just another video I'm going to post. But it's, first of all, this house is a Victorian mansion, which I'm already in love with it. But then the woman told me it has 13 bathrooms. Like, are you kidding to me right now? How many Victorian mansions do you know that had 13 bathrooms? Like, none of them. But I guess it used to be a bed and breakfast.
Oh, that makes sense.
Most homes in those days were lucky if they had one bathroom.
Yeah.
But this place was a huge 3-story mansion with an attic and a basement. And the people that own it, they actually rent the whole house out for like an Airbnb. If you want to do a haunted, like, family reunion. But this is located in the city of Nephi, which is just about half an hour south of me, towards the desert where all the weirdness is. I haven't even had a chance to review my footage because it was so recent, but she told us the story of, one of the guys that came into the house was best friends with Billy the Kid and went on a shooting spree and was killed here years ago. It's very interesting. If people are interested in it, it's called the Whitmore Mansion in Nephi, and the woman, her name escapes me right now. I think it's Jackie. She's the sweetest, coolest lady. She lives in the house with her kids. They're terrified of the house. They live in one wing of the house, leave the rest of it open. They won't go and stay in the rooms, but she has little electric candles and that's it in the whole mansion.
Wow.
So you're just get a feel for how it was back in the day. If I have $595 extra, I'll just rent the whole thing out one night. Maybe we'll do a live stream.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But there's just so many cool historic places like that out here in Utah. I recommend if anyone wants to come out here to the Beehive State, just give me a call. I'll take you on a tour. Everything's haunted. We got hide your kids, hide your wife. Everything's haunted. Just throw a rock somewhere, you'll hit a ghost. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous. And the last time we talked, I know I said this because I tell everybody, nothing happens here.
Mm-hmm.
But the longer that I've been doing this show, and I've mentioned this before, I realize I'm lying because I have these, memories that just flash back to, weird stuff that does happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, the last episode before the episode that released tonight, I spoke with Kyle Cadell of the International Paranormal Museum and Research Center in Somerset, Kentucky.
Oh, I just listened to that when I was driving home from Parawan.
Oh, man, that's weird.
Oh, yeah.
And so, one of the things that I mentioned in there was I'd seen this giant red light, across the road and on my way to work. And it was something I totally forgot about. It was over a year ago. I remember very clearly now, but I'm sure I told people that night, hey, I saw this crazy red light, and they probably laughed at me, and because I'm the weirdo here.
I hope it wasn't the Mothman. Were there two lights and were they eyes? That's all I need to know.
That would have been awesome because I absolutely am fascinated.
You're obsessed with him.
I
kind of am too. No, I need to go to that festival that they do every year. I don't know when they throw it, but I have to go to the Mothman. September.
Oh, yeah,
perfect.
Dude.
I'll meet you there. Let's go.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Because I'm actually planning on going to New York this right around that time, so I could just make a little trip of it.
Are you driving the entire way?
I don't know yet. It could. I've never driven across the country. It's on my bucket list. It probably would be horrible, but I would be interested in looking into it.
Well, you're welcome to
pick you up on the way.
Yeah, that'd be great.
just like, I'm not even going to stop. I'm just going to need you to just jump in.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Tight schedule.
But yeah, that would be awesome. Like if we could meet up at the Mothman Festival, that would be insane.
And that's in Point Pleasant, right?
Yeah, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's right on the West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio border.
Home of the Silver Bridge collapse.
Yeah.
What was that, 64 or something?
No, 67.
67?
Christmas time.
Christmas, yep. That movie still, at my age, I shouldn't be scared of movies. It still scares the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. The one with, what's his face?
Richard Gere.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. That movie creeps me out.
You know, it's not the best movie, and I admit that freely, but there are things in that movie that are really creepy.
Oh yeah, now I remember. You have thoughts on that movie. I think you might have talked about that when I first talked to you.
Yeah, maybe.
But I get scared by dumb stuff. So I just thought it was such an eerie movie, but I don't know probably half as much about it as you about the subject. So,
well, we can go to the Mothman Festival together, and you can learn everything that I've known for years.
As long as they have like brats and lots of alcohol, let's go do it.
Oh, the population of the town for that 3 days, like it goes from whatever it is to like 13,000, and it's this little tiny town. Like it just gets completely overrun, and there are vendors, like by my summation, like in the entire town. So there's probably some awesome food. And then I know that they make some brewery down there makes like a black Mothman beer that I am dying to try because I love some dark beer. I would try
that too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I definitely like every year, man. I try to go, and then
you've never been?
No,
that's okay. It'll change. We'll change that.
Yeah, we need to manifest that shit.
I'm going to put it on my dream board tonight, wherever that may be.
After I find said dream board.
Get a piece of cardboard out of the garage. We're going to go to Mothman.
Yes. Cool. Oh, dude, that'd be so awesome. I would absolutely love it. And then I could introduce you to Kyle, because he's going to be there vending.
I would love to check out his museum. That would be awesome.
I can't speak about it. I'll tell you more later.
I know. That's okay.
I'm still, like, just aghast by this weird connection.
Oh, I know. Me too. Great. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight. That's awesome. For someone who's, like, always constantly haunted, I sure am, like, a little scared bitch about it. But
I'm using that. I don't...
No! It's true, though. Like, I go out and look for this shit, and then I, like, freak out that I found it. It's like, what the hell is wrong with... But that's what's wrong with all of us. Like, that's why we do it, right? We just want to know that it exists. But I don't need the proof. I mean, it's out there, and it comes to show itself to me all the time. So, here I am, I guess.
I love it. I'm so happy that, like, through the magic of Wendy, that, like, we connected in this crazy
Wendy.
World. And
Wendy, we love you. You did great. Thanks for setting us up.
I don't know, like, talking to you, like, we just click, and I love the conversations that we have. Like, I never know when I'm going to get a weird, like, Adam Taula, like, Facebook message, like a video of you freaking out in your dining room because somebody's banging on your windows.
You never know. You never know. But so glad Wendy did identity theft that day. That we could connect. But honestly, I mean, really, that the Parawan Gap, like, go Google that shit, like, if you have a chance, and watch my video. It's very terribly made, of course, like they all are. But I think I get my point across, like, how freaking creepy and crazy it is that this happened. And like I said, when these kinds of things happen to me, they don't manifest as to what they mean sometimes for years. And this is like a perfect example. It took 3 years for me to understand like what I was seeing, but the universe wanted me to see it. So I did. It was freezing as shit out there, but I went out there.
So are you going to go back?
Oh yeah, I'll go back there. You know what's so crazy? This place, okay, it's got the vibes and stuff. It doesn't feel evil to me like Skinwalker Ranch. It feels very ancient, elemental, but it's really weird because when the sun is out, it feels so peaceful and beautiful, and it's a beautiful place. But the second like a cloud hits the sun and it gets dark, like you feel the energy shift instantly. So I can't imagine what it's like when the sun is going down and you're seeing it and then it's gone. Like I'm sure it's completely a different place at night, which is probably why I had that dream telling me not to go out there.
So you're going to ignore that and go out there at night?
I mean, we'll see if I can find some people to go with me. I'm not going to go by myself. I ain't crazy. But I'll definitely look into it.
I do have a question, and I don't know if I asked you this before, but how does your husband look at all this paranormal stuff? Obviously, it's such a big part of your life that, you know, it's pretty well just encompasses like all of your spare time. So is he into it too, or is he just like, keep that shit away from me, or is he like, it's all bullshit?
Well, he was skeptical at first, but after 11 years together, he's seen so much that he knows that it's not even a question. He's just as baffled as me. Like, we don't know why this happens, but it just does. And he doesn't love it. He certainly doesn't like it when I go to Skinwalker Ranch. He's like, I'd prefer that you don't ever go back. But he has a history from that place too. I mean, if you ask anyone from Utah, they'll have a story about this place. The whole area has issues, and so people are just very wary of going out there. You know, locals. Yeah. So he prefers that I don't do that, but he's not. You know, he's fine with the ghost hunting and stuff like that because, you know, whether or not I do that, we still get our little knocks at the front door at 3 a.m. So they come here either way.
But he's not the first in line to go out to these places with you by any means.
Oh, he doesn't go out with me to these places.
Ever?
Not really, no. He doesn't like it. So he knows that it's just a part of my life, but it's not all I do. I like to eat constantly. So he's fine with that.
Yeah, well, I guess the reason I brought it up was, like, my wife couldn't care less about this stuff, and
oh, really?
Like, she's listened to a few episodes of the show, I think, and she knows, like, that, you know, obviously it's really important in my life, and I mean, she let me go on this road trip. Like, I left on our anniversary.
I saw that. I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to say a word. I was just like, all right. All right.
So, like, she knows, you know, that but she doesn't care, like, at all.
She doesn't believe in it, or?
Well, no, I don't know that it's that. I think she does, but it's just not something she's interested in, I guess. You believe that the Eiffel Tower exists. It doesn't mean that you, like, aspire your entire life to go visit the Eiffel Tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Although I would definitely like to see the Eiffel Tower someday. That'd be great. I'm going to put that on my dream board as well.
That wasn't my intention to.
Damn it! I just want the French bread and the cheese. Okay, if I can be honest with you, I just want the food
and the wine.
That's all I want, and the wine. But no, my husband, he knows that it happens. He just kind of doesn't like to partake in it if he can help it. He's busy being a doctor and being smart and doing his job. You know, I'm just like running around being an asshat.
Thank goodness, because it's very entertaining.
Like, while I have a little time off, you know, between jobs, I'm just running around being a crazy person. So trying to videotape it along the way. Do people say that anymore?
No,
Videotape?
they don't. I wasn't going to call you on it, but
Shady Pines, Ma. That's where I'm going. So
yeah, Adam. I want to thank you again for coming on the show and just talking anytime that, you know, either one of us have something crazy or just to say hey or check in on each other. I'm happy that this has all worked out. And I want to give you a second to promote your content.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. The pleasure is all mine. No, it's always great talking to you. And as far as my channel, my YouTube channel is primarily what I'm focusing on. And it's just, you would look it up under the Paranormal Polynesian. And you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, apparently. Instagram and TikTok. And, so just Google the Paranormal Polynesian. It'll get you to me some way. Yeah, if you like food, travel, I'm also an interior designer, so I'll be decorating and doing projects around Halloween for the yard, because I'm real big on Halloween. So if you like that kind of stuff, just think of like HGTV and Food Network and the Travel Channel had like a gay Polynesian baby. That's me.
Who's also haunted.
That's haunted. So if you want to check that out, I'd love to have you come on by. But no, thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciate it.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And you'll be on again, I'm sure, at some point in the future, because why not?
Here. Why not? I'll be here having crazy shit happen.
And keep me updated on all these crazy dreams and weird synchronicities between us, because I'm still floored by what we talked about earlier. I love it. All right, well, we'll wrap this up and hang on.
Until next time, keep the fire going.